And a welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Appreciate you being here, hanging out with us where sports truly meets that thing called life. Hope you're having yourselves a wonderful morning this morning. Once again, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Happy to be inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios and happy to be inside of a wonderful, wonderful vehicle from Great Lakes Honda City that has the seat warmers and heats up really fast. You can start it before you get in the car, I believe. I never used that feature, but I think you can do that. So the heated seats are amazing. The car heats up. It's the best car, easily by far, that I've ever had when it comes to my windows and defogging my windows and doing it in a quick fashion. So let me give a shout out to Great Lakes Honda City, to my 2025 Honda CR-V, my black on black on black. Make sure you go out to 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard today and find your next ride. You can also get a sneak peek by going to greatlakeshondacity.com. Inside of these Great Lakes Honda City Studios, we're with you up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on youtube.com and facebook.com, both / wakeupcalldt, and on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. Appreciate your patience here this morning as we'll get set and ready to go inside of monpazpopcorn.com's What's Poppin', giving you the menu of wonderful things coming up on the show every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And when it comes to talking about a menu, there is nothing like Mon Paz. It will hit every taste bud that you got in that wonderful, wonderful array of taste buds. You will find so much at 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Head there today, and remember, half-price refills for the rest of your life if you buy a tin on site at Mon Paz. Any size. Mine is over my shoulder, that Jaguars tin that you see. That can fill, I think, 3 different flavors at a time. So not only do you get half-price refills for the rest of your life, but you can have more than one flavor at a time. Go to Mon Paz. Perfect thing for Christmas. They have Christmas tins. They also have team tins like that Jaguars tin and so much more. From popcorn to kettle corn to their premium corn to their chocolate-dipped, amazing array of things there when it comes to pretzels and Oreos, as well as their freeze-dried candy, cotton candy, lemonade, and more. Mon Paz is the place to let your taste buds dance. Go to, to me, it's the snack capital of the world. Head to maandpazpopcorn.com, and of course, you can also go there on 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. So, with that being said, Mon Paz bringing you what's poppin' today, the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, followed by Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero. The top dog of the week is announced from K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare, and we will round out today's show by welcoming back someone who is no stranger to the broadcast and bringing you our newest edition of a segment that I absolutely love bringing you here worldwide on the show, and that is a look at conferences all across the country, conferences and leagues in the college world. It's called Commissioner Corner, and I'll be here today at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time with the Patriot League Commissioner, Jennifer Heppel. Very excited to have her coming on the show in just a little bit, in less than an hour, actually. So very much looking forward to that. So let's jump into it as we start things off today with the annoying moment of the week.
Dan Tortora proudly brings you...
Is that for real? Are you kidding me?
The annoying moment of the week.
I really, honestly, I don't know how to respond to this.
Presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It's what happy tastes like.
Do you have to be that crazy? I guess so. So with that being said, the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. My annoying moment coming to you here where sports meets life. I'm going to bring it to you in just a moment here. I got a question that came in from Taylor. Can we lock the Syracuse men's team in the DeWitt gym until they all make 100 free throws each? I'll do you one better. Game Point Sports is the place to be. Game Point Sports on 211 South Center Street in East Syracuse. That's where the team needs to go. So thank you, Taylor. And listen, this team is so bad at shooting free shots. But this is not a surprise. This team's been bad at shooting. The crazy thing about it is it's a Syracuse like program thing. It's not a player thing. It's a program thing because they were missing free throws under Boeheim and they're missing free throws under Adrian. And, I talk about this all the time. I'm like, I always want to ask Adrian about it in the post-game press conference, but what's he going to say? You know what I mean? Like, what can you say about we have to make more? We have to have better form. I mean, what do you say about free throws? If I say, hey, you missed a lot of free throws, the response is going to be, well, we have to make them. And here's my thing. I don't ask questions that I can answer myself. So, and a good morning to Truth over here as well. So good morning to you. But I don't ask questions that I have to answer myself. And I definitely, I don't ask questions that I can answer myself, like free throws. Why do you miss them? Well, we shouldn't. And that's the frustration because what is happening, right? Practice used to be open to some of us, myself included, and then Syracuse decided to kind of close things off. And so I can't tell you how many of these are they shooting? How many are they making? What does it look like in practice? I would love to see it. I remember Bai Musakeda had a cast over his right hand. I think it was his right hand at the time, and he was shooting free throws one-handed. And I'd probably take Bai right now over a lot of things. But this team and its inability to make the shots that no one is defending is uncanny. But again, this did not start under Adrian. And I don't have words. I don't. I mean, this team would have won over the team ranked third in the country, the Houston Cougars. And so, I mean, that's something to look at, right? Getting out of binds, not having to play in overtime. I mean, you look at the team last year having to play in overtime, losing some games because they couldn't make free throws. And you expect that to not be a thing with a Division I team. You might have a player or two that can't make a free throw. You may have a guy that has an off night, but you don't have like a systematic, like, wow, nobody on this team can make them consistently. That's something that is a head scratcher. It really is. So my hope is, I mean, I've said it before, have them shoot free throws, and when they miss them, just take a bucket of water and just like throw the bucket of water at them, and then they feel the cold water and they're like, man, I don't want to feel that again. Because if Adrian's making them run, it ain't working. So, but maybe they like to run. I don't know. But the reality of it all is you should not be missing free throws. That's not my annoying moment of the week. It easily could have been my annoying moment of the week, but my annoying moment of the week, proudly presented from Carvel DeWitt, is the conversation that I had with my dad. Not the conversation being the annoying moment, but my annoying moment of the week essentially is something that I've been talking about a lot, is what I'm trying to say. And that is the absolute rudeness of people who don't appreciate when somebody else does something nice for them. Now, I've talked about stuff before on my show having to do with this, where if you hold the door open for someone, I don't hold the door open so that you'll say thank you. That's not the reason why I do it. When someone doesn't say thank you, though, it makes you sit there and wonder, like, what the hell's going on? Does this human being think that I'm just here for that I'm here to help them? I'm Garcon, right? I'm the butler of the day. I mean, the way that some people are. There was a woman when I was on vacation with my dad recently here. We were at a park. We were at a theme park. And there was a woman and a man, and I'm guessing that they dated each other. And I decided to hold the door open for the both of them. So the guy walked through, and then the woman walked through. And the door was, so she knows, okay, I was going through the door, then I decided to hold the door, so obviously I'm leaving. So I hold the door open for them. He goes through, she goes through. She doesn't put her hand on the door to stop the door so that she can hold it for me as she's going out. She doesn't, she literally goes like this and leans her head back so that the door doesn't hit her. So the door that I'm holding, that I started to let go of because they're getting through it, she kind of like jerked back so that the door couldn't touch her. So, and then it shut on, and was shutting on me. And I thought, here I am helping out a stranger, and you can't even put your pinky on the door to hold it a little bit, and you just kind of like jump back. But it leads to a bigger thing with human beings in society today. Why don't we care about each other? Why don't we care about each other? We've literally created difficulty out of non-difficult moments. And my dad and I experienced that on the vacation as well. There was something that like needed to be changed over, and there was this difficulty that was happening. So I got a message here. What did Truth have to say? Thank you, sir. I'm choosing not to work today. Oh, Johnny said that. And then Truth said, smart, LOL. Johnny said, I've got to be in my office, B-ball. What is he? I'm got to being in my office, B-ball hoop to practice. That way I can work on my form and get paid for it. There we go. Got to put a basketball hoop in your office. Okay, now I see it. Truth said efficiency. Carvel is so good. Chivalry. So my appreciation to Truth. I saw you said you have to call. Truth, you can write in. You can write in. So feel free to do that because obviously I can see these. But, you know, much appreciation to those of you that are watching and listening. But why? I mean, seriously, why don't we care about each other anymore? Like, I'm not saying all of us, because obviously a lot of you that watch and listen to the show, I would like to think, you know, when you watch and listen to someone who cares about people and wants to do good by people, that if you continue to come back, that maybe you like caring about people too. Maybe we have that in common. I hope that we do. But, or maybe you're somebody that doesn't care about anybody and you watch and listen to the show, and maybe watching and listening and hearing about it can open your heart to it. I hope. I just don't get it. Like my dad and I, like I was saying, we were staying at a hotel. They needed to change something over for us. It seemed like a very easy fix, or that if they couldn't do it as easily, there was like other avenues for them to take. They refused to do it. They refused to help my dad. My dad has been in partnership with, I mean, you know, we have a timeshare. So 24 years that my dad has had this thing. 24 years. And they couldn't do like a simple, easy task for him. And they made us bounce around like pinballs. They weren't respectful. Their customer service was atrocious. They were awful. And I thought about that. I thought about how many doors did I open that people just walk through. The door that I opened where that girl like literally like, you know, contorted her body so she didn't have to touch the door to let me out after I let her and her boyfriend out. It makes me sit here and think to myself, like, why are we not doing things for each other? Why are we not caring for each other? You know, when there's good customer service, and there was a bunch of good customer service when we were on vacation, I stopped and told that person and spent time with that person. I was like, thank you so much for your customer service today. I said guest service. I really appreciate it. I just want to let you know, guest service is not like it used to be. It's non-existent at times. People that do good guest service should be told that they do good guest service. I just wanted to let you know, thank you so much. I said that to a gentleman early on in our trip. It's an annoying moment to me because it baffles me how entitled some people act. Like, you should hold the door for me, but I'm not touching the door for you. Ew. And it's like, treat people the way you want to be treated. If you're really crappy at customer service, then don't complain when you go to get your coffee and somebody didn't say your name, let your coffee sit out there, the coffee got cold, and then when you got it and you're like, how long's it been sitting here? They shrug and they're like, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to write a review on Facebook. And it's like, really? You're going to write a review the way that you treat people? That's the funny thing about life. Everybody wants to be treated right. Everybody wants to be treated well. Everybody wants to be treated with respect. But how many do it? How many people do it? I've never seen a rude, crass, disgusting, deplorable, negative, illogical, irrational, hateful person ever say, I don't want my coffee hot. I don't want my iced coffee, on time. I don't want them to, I want them to mess up my order. I want them to disrespect me. Like, people that are mean and rude and disrespectful want to be respected. And people that are nice and kind and courteous want to be respected. So what are we doing? Right? Everybody wants to be treated well, but people don't want to treat other people well. You have to understand that what you get is what you give. Right? I worked at Walt Disney World for many years. I could see 1,000 people in a day come up to me and say something to me, want some food, want this, want that, have a question about directions. I'm speaking different languages. And being in that environment, okay, if person number 27 is a jerk and person number 91 is a jerk, but I'm dealing with 1,000 people, I can't let that run. I got to be the best that I can be at all times. But you got to think about that. I'm seeing all of those people, conversing with them all, being around them all, helping them all. Or I could be like some other people out here and just pretend like I don't hear you, ignore you, do something else, be rude, to give you the wrong directions, get you out of my face, walk away from you. Like, I can't tell you how many moments that I've been somewhere where I go to talk to somebody and there's just people walking by that work in the establishment, but nobody comes up to you. And you're like, okay, 10 minutes, 15, like, what is happening? Then they come, oh, can I help you? Oh, yeah, sure, maybe. That'd be great. That'd be absolutely wonderful. It seems like the prices went up, but the customer service went down. And that's not something that's okay. As a business person, I can tell you that if I'm going to raise my prices, I better have a reason. And I better treat people a good way. So what did Truth say? Next time, fully submit to that couple. Don't get offended. But also don't be a doormat. People are asleep and just don't care. So he said, talking smack here. So, no, but I did fully commit. I was like, I held the door. But it's one of those things where you're holding a door that, right, and the door might be longer and whatnot. So you're trying to hold it for everybody. And then you think to yourself, oh, okay, like if they're going out, I can let go. If they're already out, like you do that thing where you kind of just, nudge or whatever. I've held so many doors for people, and I've had people stop me and say thank you like I was from another universe. They're like, why are you holding the door open? Nobody does that anymore. I don't know the last time somebody... And you're like, they look at you like you're an alien. Like you're Mork from Mork and Mindy. Or, shout out to Robin Williams, rest in peace. Or there's the people that just don't care. And I find that we have gotten, in these last few years of America, I know things have happened. It's the best way to say this is I witnessed people being disrespectful and rude and unaccommodating and hypocritical, but it seemed like they were a minority. Now at times it seems like there's a majority. It seems like if there's 90 people in the room, 50 of them will not hold the door open for you. Where in the past, it felt like 4. And I don't know if this is other people in the media that are saying and doing things and pushing this stuff. But I also see it in gender. I see that when a man holds a door for a woman, no matter what her age is, a lot of women don't say anything anymore. And I was like, is that part of this whole like toxic masculinity and women in America are supposed to hate men because the media told them to? That's another layer of it, because I've seen it in all different ages. That if a man does it, a woman's like, obviously. And and I'm just like, wait a minute. Y'all say chivalry is dead, but when we show it to you, you walk through the door like we're just part of the fabric of the wall. So, I mean, that to me, but see, that's the thing. You have to stay true to who you are, and you have to stay true to your goodness. Because people that try to do good things for other people, one of two things happens. They see that people disrespect it and don't appreciate it, so they stop and they become rude like everybody else. Or they keep being good even though they know that sometimes it'll be taken advantage of. And I'm on the second side of that because I can't be a jerk and then become everything that I don't like seeing out there, because that's not a way to go. So, Truth said, God loves humility. I like you. And so that's good. Minimum wage effort. Yeah, minimum wage, minimum effort. Yeah, Truth. I mean, you're not lying. By the way, minimum wage, so much higher than when I started working. Do you know what minimum wage was when I started working? It was like 4 going into 5. I think it was $5. I think I heard some people were paying under $5. I don't know if that's true, so I'm not going to say anything about like where it was. But I think that minimum wage when I started working was $5. It was like between 5 and 5.25, I think. And now it's like, you can work at a fast food chain and make almost $20 an hour, which is wild to me. It's wild. Good for them. Wild. And, but that's the thing is it's like you keep rising prices, right? If you rise the cost of living, then you have to, if you raise the price of the cost of living, then you have to raise the price, or you have to raise how much you pay somebody so that they can afford to live. But eventually that bow breaks if you get too high, right? Because you can't go over a certain amount because you're not going to be able to afford it. And if people can't afford things and you can't pay to have them there to afford those things, then eventually the bow breaks, because how much is too much? And I think, America has been stretched thin at times. When eggs were $6, I was like, well, I guess I'm never eating eggs again. And I was okay with that until I had to bake something. So I had to buy eggs. But now with them being so low, it's been wonderful. I saw $1 something for eggs. Gas is under $3. I think I filled up in Florida for $2.75. It was either $2.75 or $2.79. It was glorious. And I remember when $2.79 was way too high. But that's what they do. They keep raising the prices, so when they lower them a little bit, your brain is like, oh my gosh, $2.79 is a deal, when a deal for you used to be $1.29 a gallon. So keep your head on that. Don't forget that there's that manipulation of price. There's that manipulation of, we're going to put it so high that if we bring it down just a little bit, they're going to love it. Like $2.90, gas never went above $2.99 in Syracuse, New York. It never went above $2.99. And most of the time it wasn't there. And now we see $3.59 and we go, oh, well, that's better than what it was 3 years ago. And then we see $2.89 and we're like, well, that's so much better than, $3.99. But the reality of it all is you and I were used to paying $1.79, $1.59, $2.09, $2.19. $2.19 used to be a high price in Syracuse for gas. So, but that's the thing. Like if you were born within the last 10 years, you don't know the difference. Last 15 years, you don't know the difference. But it's important for us to look at the manipulation of society, to look at how they'll do something, they'll raise something, we'll balk at it, it'll be raised for such a long time. Gas is something that a lot of people need, so we pay it reluctantly. Then it goes down to a price that's way too high 5 years ago or 10 years ago, but we see a price drop, we get excited, we're essentially thanking them for giving us a discount on gas that's actually way higher than what we used to pay. We're thanking them for bending us over and disrespecting us. That's what we're thanking them for. So these are discussions we have to have. Again, why don't people care about people? I was talking to my dad about business because I'm a business owner. He's like, business owners always seek to make money, make money, make money, make money. I said, that's not why I do this. We make money, we do well, but that's not why I do this. By the grace of God, we do well. It's all him and a little bit of me. But that's not why I do this. I do this because I love people. I do this because I love sports. I like to spread a message. I like to bring you comedy and positivity. I like to be real, honest, true. I didn't think that I would feel like one of the only people in the media doing that. But when you see what's going on in the media, you think, oh my goodness, like maybe some people come to the show just because they know they're going to get the truth, which should be like the baseline of every media is telling the truth. But apparently that doesn't happen. And I've seen it not happen. So, yeah, I mean, I think my annoying moment of the week is think about other people. be kind, be courteous, courteous, be giving, and just treat people the way you want to be treated, right? When Jesus left us with a message, it was like, if you remember nothing else, remember this: treat others as I have treated you, right? Treat others as I treat you. Treat others as you want to be treated. I'm good to you. Be good to them. And it's not a hard concept. It's not a hard concept. Let's normalize holding the door for people. Let's normalize saying hello to somebody. Let's normalize smiling. Right? And I don't say much, but if you walk through the door and you don't say a word and you walk through like, chump, thanks for holding it. Like, I will say something. If that's your attitude, you don't have to say anything. I'm not saying they say that. I'm saying that's the attitude. When you walk through like, whatever, I will stop. I will make sure that you hear me. And I'll say, you are very welcome. You have a wonderful day. Because again, it's not holding the door. It's not doing a good deed to get a good deed, not doing a good deed to get a thank you. It's common courtesy. Right? I don't do it for the thank you. But when you don't say thank you, and the way some people have acted in recent times when I've held the door open, I look at these people like, who the hell raised you? Or did no one do that? Because if you were raised by good parents and you treat people like this, your parents need to know that it didn't sink into you yet. And if you're not raised to do these things, well, then maybe somebody else needs to come along in your life and guide you through the fact that you get a lot more bees with honey than you get with stingers. And I see it because I see it in my parents. I see it in people that are good people. They're hardworking people. They've been on this earth longer than me. And I see that they've gotten to their point where they're at their wits' end sometimes of how many decades have they gone where they just see people disrespect people. And my parents are tired of it. They're tired of it. My mom works in customer service and, she does a phenomenal job. And she told me, like, she's at a point now where maybe 5-10 years ago, somebody screaming at her, she would like let it be a moment. But now she just goes, yeah, sir, we're not doing that today. We're not talking to me like that today. If you want to talk to my manager, you're more than happy to. And I will be more than happy to let them know the disrespectful person that you are. In this moment, we don't swear. Calm down. But I mean, the way that people talk, the way that people act, the audacity of some people, the privilege of some people. You show up to a flight, right? They tell you there's a 45-minute cutoff. You show up to a flight to drop off your bag, like your big bag that you have to check, 37 minutes before a flight, you're not getting on the flight. So what do? They don't go, oh, my bad, that was my mistake, I screwed up. You're supposed to get to the airport 2 hours before, at least over an hour before, or hour before, depending on what airport you're at and how big it is. And you come 37 minutes before the flight. You think there's going to be no line. You're going to check your bag. You're going to get upstairs. There's going to be no line in security. You're going to get through security. You're going to walk to your gate, and you're going to make everybody on that plane wait for you. But that's the entitlement of some people. They think the world has to stop until they're ready to do something. And those are the people that walk through doors and don't say anything. And those are the people that don't hold doors for people. And those are the people that don't care if you come into their store and you're looking to find something. Because yes, they're wearing a vest on that says they work there, but no, they do not want to help you. So be nicer to people. Be more courteous and be more kind. And let's see here. We keep fighting even as low as 99 cents in the 90s. Yeah. So, Johnny said, nothing in the world makes sense right now, so I might as well have another kid. Love it. Truth said, live local coverage. Do not have another kid. This world sucks. Bad parents all over, says Truth. Well, Truth, I will tell you this. I know Johnny, fantastic father. So if anyone's going to have another kid, let it be that guy. With that being said, we're going to take a step aside for a fast break. This has been the annoying moment of the week. I could go all day. So I'm like Captain America when it comes to entitled people. I can do this all day. So just be nice to people, be kind to people, and stop it. Like, I can't stand that when it comes to a plane. You're going to come through the airport late on everything, and you think that flight with 162 people is waiting for you and is going to clap when you get there. No, they're going to stare at you and go, what in the blank is your problem that you thought that we all stopped our day so that you could get on this plane? Now, if something happens, force majeure, right? You're on the way to the airport and the Hulk is coming through Syracuse and he's just knocking apart the roads. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's Kathy Hochul. But if you're going through Syracuse and all of a sudden there's no bridge, right? And there's traffic and all these things going on, I understand you taking some time. There are moments where I've gone to the airport and I'm like, hey, this is crazy. Like, I left almost 3 hours before to get to a flight and I still missed it. And that was, in New York City where traffic is a normal thing. So, you look at those moments and you say, there are moments where you get sick to your stomach because there's nothing you can do about it. But there's moments where you can do something about it. And in those moments, be kind, courteous, respectful, and treat people the way you want to be treated. This has been the Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. We'll be back right after this. Stay with us.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942. And tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item, available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily, and we bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. It's time for us to jump into Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver is the acronym proudly presented by the wonderful team led by Jimmer Sikowski, a brother to me, at Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, New York. And of course, Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver. That is the acronym. And here is today's topic. Set an example you don't mind seeing repeated. Set an example you don't mind seeing repeated. And that goes right back to the annoying moment of the week when we were talking about what example are you setting? And if you saw it again, would you like it? Right? Like, what if you were a parent? And as a parent, when you walk through a door, you just kept texting on your phone. Just hoping that somebody didn't let it slam in your face. Just text it on your phone. Right? So you show your kid, I don't care about chivalry. I don't care about kindness. I don't say thank you. It's expected. Right? You're at the dinner table. You got your phone out. You got the tablet out. You're not paying attention to your children. What are you telling your children? Take technology out at the table. Let's not talk. Let's not converse. Let's not have dinner together. Let's have dinner in the same room, but not together, because that happens a lot. Well, I was sitting at the table. Yeah, but were you engaging with anything or anyone? Fighting with your spouse. Screaming at them in front of your kids. Now I've normalized that behavior with my children. What are you showing your kids? Or the opposite. I say thank you every time somebody does something nice to me. I go up to someone at the Christmas tree farm and they look like they're having a rough day and they kind of got their head down. I go, "Hey, how are you? Can I get you a hot chocolate? Would you like one? It's cold out here today. Let me go get you one. I'm going to get one. Might as well get two." Do a good deed, right? When you're disagreeing with your partner, you go over to them and say, hey. We don't need to yell. Come on now. What's bothering you today? What's going on? Babe, I just had a tough day at work. All right, okay, all right. So tell me about it, right? Instead of taking it out on me, tell me about it. It's not my fault you had a bad day at work. But we don't need to make two fights out of one. You had a bad day at work. You don't need to yell at me. Let's talk about it, right? Set an example you want to see repeated. Right? That's why when people do good customer service, I tell them, thank you. This is weird. Growing up as a kid, good customer service, it was like good, bad. Good, bad. Good, bad. Bad. Now it's bad, okay. Bad, okay. Bad, good. Bad, good. Bad, good. Bad, okay, good. And where did all this bad customer service come from? Because people don't care. They're afraid to fire people. They're afraid to call people out, whatever it may be. But this is what we do. I said something to my dad. I go, "Dad, how do people bounce from job to job every year or two? And they treat people disrespectfully and they do things and they have a bad rap sheet of how they treat others and how they carry themselves, but they keep getting jobs." And my dad said, that is because the people that they worked for are afraid to say anything when that other company calls and says, "Hey, this person just worked for you. Can you tell me about them?" And they don't tell them the truth. So then they keep getting hired. And then they keep bringing problems to other places. So to me, it's about setting a good example. An example that I want people, like when I'm around my nieces and my nephews, I have to think about how am I talking, what am I saying, how am I saying, and I've caught myself before because I'm just talking with, I'm talking with my brother, I'm talking to Johnny, we're having a conversation, and I'm joking with him like I normally joke with him, but then here's Noah, and I'm like, uh-oh, so, don't say it that way, or whisper that part of the story, or say it when Noah goes to bed, but don't say it right now. See, we've lost the filters and we've lost the understanding, right? Like, we're fine with kids hearing the F word when they're like 3 years old. We're fine with people being exposed to things. I would never hand a child YouTube knowing what can be on there. Now, I love YouTube, but there's a lot of things on YouTube. There's a lot of things on social media. There's a lot of access to things. Things are very easy to find if people are looking for them. And I've talked to people that have worked in correctional facilities and different places and whatnot. The things that people have told me that you have access to on the internet that I, at 40 years old, did not even know I had access to are terrifying. Now that I know I have access to them, I'm going to pray that they get taken down and off of the internet. I'm not going to look for them, but it sickens me the things that I know that I didn't know. And if you knew what your child could get on the internet, you'd throw up. You would. So you have to, you can't just hand a kid a tab. This can't be your teaching tool. Oh yeah, daddy's bored. Here you go. But I've seen that. I've gone to Disney and I've seen that. A parent, kid's crying, bothering the mom. She just hands the 3-year-old a tablet. There you go. There's your teacher. And I'll tell you this right now. If you allow the media and the internet to be your teacher. Now they say, well, Dan, you're part of the media. You're part of the internet. I'm not like the rest of them. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. I work to be the best I can possibly be. I'm a sinner like everybody else. I would like to think I'm a good person. I would like to think I carry myself in a way that is positive and good. An example that I set most of the time, yes. Do I have my weak moments? Absolutely. Have I dated someone and there's an argument and you get out of the car and you continue to argue into the restaurant and now you're in a public space and you're arguing? Yeah. I've been in those moments and I look back at those and I'm like, man, I should have just brought that girl home and gotten, chicken nuggets and called it a day. But I was trying to get through a brick wall and I couldn't and I got frustrated. So I kept talking about it, right? You want to set an example. And I said this to someone I love dearly. I said to them, listen, your relationship with your significant other, your kids are going to start seeing it and retaining it because they're getting older and they're getting to a point. And I said, I don't want them to normalize your dating of each other, your being together. I don't want them to think that this is normal because then they're going to go have abusive, toxic relationships. And then I'm going to lose it because those are my girls, right? This is someone I love dearly. Those girls are like nieces to me. And that they call me Uncle Dan. That's who I've always been to them. It's who I'm always going to be. And his response to me was, one of them has already asked me about it. They already said something to me about it. And I was like, see, bro, like I'm telling you, you have to be very careful. You have to be. We're human beings. We have weak moments. We are not perfect. If you lean on the flesh more than the spirit, you're going to get yourself in trouble in every stretch of the imagination. But you want to set an example that you want other people to emulate. If you want people to have good manners, have good manners. If you don't want them to have their elbows on the table when they're eating, then don't put your elbows on the table. Being in Universal and Disney, I was around so many little kids and so many babies. And I thought to myself, that's like innocence and perfection right there. Like God hands you this child from heaven and there's nothing. They're not saying anything wrong. They're not doing anything wrong. They're emulating you. And I thought to myself, man, we are so responsible for if a child becomes a really great contributor to society or if they become a little pain in the tush. And when they're that tiny, it's like they don't know anything. So the example that you set for them, that's going to have an effect. Potentially, like my relationship with God's been close since birth. I don't know how to describe this to people, but I feel like I knew him before anybody told me about him. I also have parents that we didn't have, we sat at the table, we talked about our day. We ate together. Pretty much every day of the week. My mom cooked 5 or 6 dinners a week. So we maybe went out one time on Friday for pizza. But again, we were together. We didn't go out separately, right? We watched TV together. And when my parents did, like my parents taught me things that even when they made a mistake, I could see it. I didn't just emulate my parents. I listened to what they taught me. I listened to what they said. So even when they didn't follow what they said, I knew that. I said, oh, Mom and Dad, I'm not going to follow what you just did because that's not what you said to do. That example that you set has an effect on the rest of someone's life potentially, good or bad, because people don't forget. People don't forget. I may not be able to tell you what I had for dinner today or yesterday, but I can tell you everything about my grandfathers. I could tell you everything about my grandfathers. And that's because they had such an effect on me, right? Mindless things like, what did I eat today? Or was I walking on the left side of the sidewalk or the right side of the sidewalk? But if you ask me about what's that conversation you had with your grandmother at the kitchen table that you'll never forget, I can tell you that like it was yesterday. And it was probably 20 years ago. So just remember that if you are an aunt or an uncle or a husband, wife, father, mother, son, daughter, friend, neighbor, whoever you may be, boss, employee, you can set an example today that can have a ripple effect for the rest of someone's life. I've seen that in a negative way, and I've seen it in a positive way, and I just really want us to take that responsibility, right? They say the first step in having a kid is the fun part. But then what's the rest of it, right? Is the rest of it not fun? Is the rest of it not enjoyable? Or you have that romantic night, and then for the rest of your life, you're a parent. So are you going to let that one night, that 1 hour be the best part of it? Or are you going to let the rest of your life, trying at times, frustrating at times, but still rewarding, to see your child grow up? Like if I had a kid and I saw them out there holding the door open for someone, I'd cry. I'd be like, oh my God. Like, yay. If I saw them say, thank you, sir. I appreciate you, ma'am. Merry Christmas. Do you need help with your car? Can I help you get your bags? If I saw any of those things, I would think, okay, I'm doing something right. My wife's doing something right. That's how, that to me is rewarding. That to me is the substance. That's the essence, right? To take God's children and take care of them while they're in your charge. So just think about that. And it's not just your kids. You can always set a good example for somebody else's as well. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. When we come back, we will bring you the top dog of the week, proudly presented by K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare. This has been Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver, focusing on today's topic, which is set an example you don't mind seeing repeated. We'll be back right after this.
Great cars, great people, Great Lakes. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, as we are here inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios, who you just heard from. Head out to Great Lakes Honda City Monday through Saturday and make sure, for sales and service, and make sure you let them know that DT sent you their way. That's all I got to say. Say DT sent me in here. Head out to Great Lakes Honda City. Fantastic people. Really appreciate all the work that they do. Big time shout out to Malik and Mark, as well as Mr. Elijah. And I definitely implore you, if you're in the market to find a car, the only place that I have literally gone for over a decade is Great Lakes Honda City. So I look forward to seeing you go out there and have a great experience and bring home a ride that's good for you and the whole family, or just for you, whatever you got going on. Maybe it's you by yourself, maybe it's you and the dog, or you and the cat, maybe it's you and a full family of a bunch of people, all, the house is full, right? So, or you're empty nesters, whatever it may be. So make sure you head over to Great Lakes Honda City today. Appreciate y'all. And thank you for going out there, and for everybody that has listened to our call here, our charge, and has gone out to Great Lakes Honda City. I truly appreciate that. With that being said, it's time for the Top Dog of the Week. Top Dog of the Week is proudly presented by the wonderful team at K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare. That team is led by Lorraine and Chad, and they are the place, in my opinion, to bring your dog for short-term care. If you need it for your dog, whatever's going on, if you're moving, or maybe you're getting your kid and bringing them home for the holidays from college, or whatever it may be, when you have a lot going on in the house, or you just work long hours and you're not going to be home for a significant amount of time, whatever it may be, whatever your life asks of you, ask K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare to take care of your furry loving friend, and make sure you bring them over to 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, right across from BJ's Wholesale Club. You can see them right from the road, coming off of Bridge Street, coming off of Erie Boulevard, coming off the highway. Very easy to get to, very visible, and they are the place that I would choose. And they're not just a daycare. They actually have other opportunities for you as well. They have a self-serve dog wash, so if you got to clean up your dog a little bit there, you can feel free to do it. And they also have a store that has so many things for your dog, from cookies to harnesses to leashes to collars to, obviously buying their dog food and so much more. Some holiday treats, a lot of great things at K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare. So make sure you head out there today and let them know that DT sent you. My top dog of the week for this week has got to be Jerry. Jerry, I send you my love. A fantastic human being. And there's a couple Jerrys that I know. So, Mr. Jerry Hart, I love you dearly, and I've given you shout-outs that are well-deserved. This Jerry, I want to shout him out, and I want to shout out their whole family. I'll leave his last name not said out of respect for everything he's been through, but Jerry was in a place this week where he could have passed away. And I just prayed. And I believe in the power of prayer. I believe in God. I believe in what prayer can do. And not only did he not go, and how many times do you hear this? They took him out of comfort care. And he just, from when my mom called me and said, hey, Jerry's not doing well. He had a heart attack. They're waiting for him to pass. Well, he didn't pass. I prayed. I know my mom prayed. I'm sure other people that love Jerry or know about Jerry, they also prayed, and prayers once again worked. And the miracle happened. And Jerry went from he's going to pass away to now, hopefully he's going to be coming home. No longer on comfort care. So I just want to let people know, when you sit here and you wonder how prayer works, if anyone is listening, I could tell you that they are. I could tell you God is absolutely listening, absolutely there for us, absolutely caring about us. Prayer does work. And it worked in such an amazing way that we still have Jerry with us today. So to Jerry and to all of your loved ones, keep being on the mend. Keep taking care of yourself. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. Know you're loved. Know you're prayed for. Know that you're cared about. And know that prayers work. God was listening when we asked him to take care of you, when we asked this not to be the end, when we asked that this would not be your story, that there's so much story for you to tell, that there's more opportunity for you. The prayer that you would live and continue to tell your story, continue to have your story here on this earth for many, many years to come before God takes you home. The prayer that God would heal you completely and for good, and help you to heal through him no matter what, and to handle well whatever comes your way in and out of your control, and to do the same with all of your loved ones, to heal them and help them to handle well whatever comes their way. That prayer was answered. God showed up, as he always does. And I'm very, very happy to say that Jerry's with us today. And I cannot thank God enough, and I can't call it anything other than a miracle. So when you wonder if miracles happen, they do. If you wonder if they've happened recently, they have. And I'm very grateful that I can call Jerry my top dog of the week. But really what I'm doing is calling God the top dog of the week, because he gave a second life to a family. And he helped to mend bridges that maybe wouldn't have been mended any other way. It's funny the way God works. But if we let him, the message gets through and life gets better. God bless you, Jer, and to all your loved ones. We're happy to have you here. Shout out to being my top dog of the week, proudly presented by the wonderful team at K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare. Go and visit them on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse. And you can find out more information by calling 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110. You can also go online to K-9 Kamp.com today. And thank you to Lorraine, Chad, and the entire team for all you do at K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare that helps our dogs have a safe place when life calls. We'll take a step aside for a fast break here, where sports meets life on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. When we come back, we will have an all-new Commissioner Corner as I go around the country speaking with leaders in the collegiate sports world for many years now. I am very proud to have Patriot League Commissioner Jennifer Heppel back right after this.
Avicoli's Restaurant, located on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, has been serving our community for decades. Your place to go for home cooking on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road is just minutes from Liverpool High School. And every single month, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is on site, on location, with Liverpool sports, student athletes, coaches, and administration telling their stories throughout the year. We look forward to seeing you on site at Avicoli's Avicoli's for their casual pizza side, their fine dining, as well as their bar. And of course, you can order online at myavicollis.com. That's myavicollis.com. For takeout, delivery, and catering, call 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100. Come on in to the neighborhood spot Avicoli's, open 7 days a week in Liverpool, New York. K-9 Campground Dog Boarding is your home away from home for your furry-loving friends. Open 7 days a week with drop-off and pickup times in the morning and later on in the day and early evening. K-9 Campground Dog Boarding is the spot to trust with your dog for short and long-term stays. Call 315-299-4013 for more information. That's 315-299-4013, and go to k9campground.com as well. That's K9, KAMP ground.com, where you will find all of the information on their different cabins, which include the classic cabin, executive cabin, grand cabin, and luxury cabin. K-9 Campground Dog Boarding, where your dog will have indoor and outdoor areas as well as their own private cabin for any size, any breed, as well as dogs with different needs. Dog parents and dogs alike choose K-9 Campground Dog Boarding. Isn't that right, Lily? Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here with us Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and I am honored and privileged to have this opportunity, which is something that we love to do here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, which is bring you what I have entitled over the years the Commissioner Corner. This Commissioner Corner gives us the chance to hear from commissioners all over the country about the collegiate sports world, what's affecting their league and their, obviously when we go all across the country, conferences and leagues, what's affecting them, what's going on, what's their kind of story as we're going through the world today, tomorrow, and the next day, and the bigger picture of what's going on as well. So Patriot League is a league that I respect, I appreciate very much so, and Jennifer Heppel has been with me here before. It's an opportunity to bring her back here for the Commissioner Corner. So with that being said, we have Jennifer Heppel here with us. And I don't know if Jennifer remembers this, but she gave me this hat a few years ago. So I am rocking my Patriot League hat. We are here for another edition of the Commissioner Corner with Patriot League Commissioner Jennifer Heppel. Jennifer, how are you?
Great. It's wonderful to be here.
Happy?
I have to say, I got a little hungry listening to the ad. The Avicola sounds like a great place, so I'm gonna have to visit next time I'm up there.
Yeah, I will tell you right now, for somebody who is a proud card-carrying Italian and Hispanic, Avicoli's is one of the places that I would tell someone, if you're not going to eat at home and have some Italian woman cook for you like my grandmothers and my mom did, or you're not going to cook like my dad and I do, then go to Avicoli's. For sure.
All right. Okay.
So first and foremost, I know we're heading toward the end of the year. So as you kind of assess another year under your belt as the Patriot League Commissioner, what are some of those top of the mind things as you go out of 2025 into 2026?
Yeah, well, it's interesting just coming off for us end of the football season last week with Lehigh's loss to Villanova in the second round, which was earlier than we would have liked, but it was a great game. So we're, I think just slowly moving out of the fall season, starting to think about league basketball picking up here in a few weeks. Already looking forward to football next year when we're up to 10 members in football, full 9 game schedule. So we're already planning for 2026 football, but short term, looking forward to basketball.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, when you look on the football side of things, I mean, it's crazy how quickly it goes by and how
Mhm.
we just see the season. I always get really, really excited for college football season, and now here I am. And you talk about the FCS playoffs, and then you take
Uh-huh.
a look at the fact that the college football playoff is going to be happening in a week from today.
Right.
It's so
Right.
strange how quickly it happens. But what can you say about what this conference looks like for the Patriot League? Because not only do you have your everyday members in the world of football, but you also have your associate members that have really assembled a very multi-layered, vibrant, I would say, Patriot League football conference.
Yeah, well, we had been, I think, 21 years as stability within our football membership, which included two very valuable associate members in Fordham and Georgetown. And then adding over the course of the last 2 years, Richmond, Villanova, and William and Mary, three of the strongest, most historic programs in the East, and certainly with national championships and success. So I like to say we're doing something right. If we're in this environment able to attract institutions that want to be aligned and not just compete, but sit around the table and make decisions and steer the ship with us. So we feel really good about not just in football, but how we are managing within the landscape right now.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, when we're looking at this world of realignment, there's literally one move can change so many things.
Mhm.
A school, what did they say about when Oklahoma and Texas made the decision a few years ago to leave the Big 10, Big 12 for the
Mhm.
SEC? When they made that decision, I was talking to an NCAA Division II athletic director that said, "Make no mistake, this will touch us. This will affect us." And it did affect them, and they jumped to Division One. And so
Right.
there's so much to be said about when there's a ripple in the water. So Jennifer,
Yeah, it
how
is.
how
It
close is
is.
that ear to the ground for you of the ripples?
It's that's the way I've always described it as well. It's a ripple. You might not go directly, point A to point B
Yeah,
with the Oklahoma Texas move, but
yeah,
it is what that means over the next few years because it starts to impact the membership within the FBS conferences and then FCS and then into Division Two. And it's as a commissioner, you're aware. You're aware. I feel very fortunate. There is the Patriot League is a stable conference. It doesn't mean we're not immune. It doesn't mean, look, the commissioners are often the last people to know when if they have a school that leaves. Like any Division I commissioner would say that you're often the last person to get the phone call to say it's been wonderful, but we think the best move for our institution is to do XYZ.
yeah.
Um, I believe I have a good pulse and on our membership, and we're stable. As I said, everybody loves where they are. But you pay attention. You pay attention because it impacts your environment.
How when you talk about the check-in, right? Because there's and it's as a commissioner, you're re-recruiting your schools just like a coach in the world today is re-recruiting their
Mhm.
players.
Mhm.
So how often do you dialogue with your conference members?
Well, it's not. I wouldn't say it's not me. It's they recruit each other. They commit to sitting around that table together
Yeah.
and saying, looking next to each other, looking across the table, and saying, these are the people that I want to be in partnership with competing against, but really partners within not only higher education, but also where college athletics fits within that model. So it's institutions. I lead in that I try to make sure they have the time and the space together,
Yeah.
to build those relationships and to have those ties and to continually commit to each other and maintaining the partnership that we all have. And probably head coaches would say the same thing about players, right?
Yeah.
Players recruit each other all the time. So there are similarities there.
Jennifer Heppel here with us this morning as we discuss the world of collegiate athletics. Let's solve everything today, Jennifer. So when you look at, in this Commissioner Corner inside a Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora here in the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, Jennifer, for you talked about Lehigh and Lehigh being out of the playoffs a little bit sooner than you had hoped, but to Villanova.
Right.
Villanova is a football member in 2026. So
Yes.
How bittersweet is it that you're like, if you did this next year, one of us beat the other one, but the Patriot is still alive. So how kind of like weird and ironic is that Lehigh and Villanova faced each other when they will now be in a conference together next year?
Well, this is 2 years in a row. So last year, Villanova traveled down to Richmond, who was an incoming Patriot League member. Lehigh traveled down to Richmond. We're doing for the first round of the FCS playoffs after the 2024 season. And Lehigh came away with the win at that time. So this year, the matchup against Villanova, I think maybe the committee likes to see this, but the reality is right now, Villanova is they're a great program. We are excited to have them come in next year, but they're proud competing members of the CAA at this moment in time. So I'm very happy for their success, and we'll definitely be cheering for them. But mixed.
Yeah, just sitting there in your office going, "Do this next year. Do it next year." But
right.
William,
we wouldn't see each other this early.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
And so when you look at William and Mary and Villanova, how did this come about when you're working through the membership and the associate members and whatnot? Were you actively looking to expand football? Did they approach you and say, "Hey, listen, the Patriot League is a place where we want to," who made that first phone call of this being a reality that William and Mary and Villanova are going to be coming in for football?
It was very long and predated this is my 11th year as commissioner. When, as I said, we'd had 21 years of being a 7-member football conference.
Yeah.
And that's a lower number within the national scene for FCS. It made non-conference scheduling pretty challenging. And there was always a desire from our football institutions to expand our membership in football. But as a league, we're very intentional about who we want to partner with. Right? I keep coming back to this partnership concept and who you're sitting around the table with. And there were only probably a handful of schools out there that the league had been talking to for a number of years, and the modeling and the timing just did not work.
Yeah.
And it came together. It came together just a result of some other changes in the landscape. The ripple effects, as you mentioned, the ripple effects are real, and the timing was right 2 years ago with Richmond. And then that they really, set that path for what it could look like for William and Mary and Villanova to also make the change. So again, ripple effects worked well for us in this case.
Yeah, and when, like you said, there was only a few schools that made sense for you. When you are the Patriot League and you are thinking of your essence, who you are, what you are, a conference that says, hey, it's all about the money and it's all about that. Like if it's about material things, if it's about things that are fleeting and kind of up and down like the stock market, then I don't think that you really build what you're talking about, which is people wanting to sit together. So when we look at the essence of the Patriot League and we look beyond all of this stuff that you can't take to heaven with you, what is it about the Patriot League's fiber and who you are that you feel is enticing at this time to gain instead of lose?
Yeah, I think our schools, look, I've said it, we love the model that we have. We love the primacy of the educational experience. These are unbelievable institutions, and athletics is a core component and adds value to the educational experience. It works works together as part of that, part of the student, as we recruit students to our institutions, that experience that they are getting of being a student at Colgate, a student athlete at Colgate. But when they graduate, they can say, I have a degree from this institution. I was able to fully participate and compete at the highest level of Division I, but I also fully participated in campus life. And my degree has value, my experience, my friends from within and outside the team, the activities I was involved in on campus that extend beyond athletics, and giving student athletes that opportunity to have the experience of everything that our institutions provide. And that's not, in this day and age, even setting aside that concept of money, like, look, I will say as a league, we're 10 institutions, but Army and Navy don't provide the traditional type of financial support that we think about in terms of a scholarship. Certainly they are funding everything that the students at those service academies need. It's an employee model, which is so interesting, right, in this day and age. But our 8 institutions, we give over $110 million in athletic scholarship aid a year. Our commitment, our financial commitment to athletics is not insignificant. But 35% of our operating budget goes directly to scholarship dollars. Yeah. Less than 10%, less than 8% goes toward head coach compensation. And these are some amazing coaches, right? We just had Kevin Cahill at Lehigh is the FCS National Coach of the Year. But the balance in where we are expending our resources and how we do it feels like a right balance and model for higher ed.
Yeah, you just mentioned coaching. And I want to bring people down the road that I know of, my hometown being Syracuse, New York, and there was this guy that was at the College of the Holy Cross that was leading the Crusaders that almost was the head coach at Syracuse. And then he goes to James Madison and 2 years in wins a Sun Belt championship and is now representing the Sun Belt for the first ever time, the entire conference, not just James Madison, in the college football playoff at the highest level of football in the FBS. And after he's done with James Madison, hopefully after another win or two, he's going to UCLA. So look at the trajectory coming out of the Patriot League of a Bob Chesney. I'd love to get your thoughts on him.
Bob's a fantastic coach. I am excited for him to have the opportunity that he's getting to be a Big Ten head coach, right? Like that's the head football coach in the Big Ten Conference. That's a remarkable achievement. We have, we have amazing head coaches. Talked about Boston University just announced the retirement of their head field hockey coach. She's been a head field hockey coach for 45 years at Boston. And she has a remarkable record of developing young women and committing to their lives. And that's what it means, competitive success, but also the success in developing young people. And Bob's had a great run. You know, we were fortunate to have him in the Patriot League. I love it. I always tell people, go out there, you know, have success and preach the gospel of the Patriot League.
Yeah. Well, and I will say this, the reputation precedes you when we speak about the Patriot League because I hear the rumblings of interest in that.
Hmm.
Do you have institutions that currently here in 2025 going into 2026 that they are kind of like dipping their toe in the water and saying, "Hey Jennifer, do we fit your model?" Like, do you get those inquiries?
We do. And I would say it's not, um, with some of the institutions, it's not as much that they don't fit the model, it's that 10 is a really workable number when we think about maintaining our model and we think about scheduling. You know, and I mentioned the ability of the athletes to take part in campus life. Well, that means they're on campus,
Yeah.
right? They're not spending days off campus, weeks on end competing. The travel is reasonable. The number of midweek conference games is really very limited, and that allows our athletes to be students. Um, and so once you start to expand the number, once you start to expand your footprint, you really stretch the bounds of that student athlete experience and the ability for the athletes to be on campus. And so that's really been where I think the check and balance is. There's some great institutions, but trying to maintain the balance of the experience for our student athletes, we haven't been able to break away from that number of what it might look like if it grows beyond 10.
And you say 10, which is full. But
Yeah.
now, as we step into
Hmm.
2026, you will have 10 in football.
Hmm.
So is that the sweet spot for football for you as well?
It is. Look, that's 9 conference games. We'll play a full round robin. It's a great schedule. Strength of schedule should, you know, looking two to three postseason teams every year based on that strength of schedule. 12 permissible games, an FBS game, and you know, a couple non-conference games. So that's we're really excited about that. I think it's harder to be larger than that in football. You don't play everybody in the conference, which is certainly a model that many conferences have undertaken. I'm a believer in playing everybody in the conference. Once you start to divide up, you lose that connectivity, and it becomes simply about competition,
Yeah.
and you don't feel like you know each other.
Well, I mean, and you look at the college football playoff, and they're
Mhm.
trying to assess teams that are in conferences where they're not playing each other. Like, would
Right.
an Alabama beat a
Mhm.
Texas A&M? Would Texas
Right.
beat
Right. Mhm.
somebody? I mean, if
Yeah,
Texas was
and
going to go up against Vanderbilt again, if they got the opportunity,
right.
it's a weird model. But I love what you just said is like you get a true champion because they all play each other once.
Right, right. And we run into that in FCS as well. There are FCS conferences that not everybody plays each other. And
Yeah.
football, selecting a football championship, whether it's the FCS championship or the CFP, there's just the data set is so low because it's a limited number of games and not everybody's playing everybody. So you really, it's hard for the committees to make some of those head-to-head comparisons.
Yeah, and so I think a lot of fans would say that a conference that all sees each other every year.
Hmm.
I mean,
Hmm.
I think about again, you go to my hometown of Syracuse, New York,
Hmm.
they're in a conference with Miami in the Big East. Miami leaves, they're not in the same conference. They get into the same conference in the ACC again.
Hmm.
Over a decade together in the ACC, in 11 years they played each other twice, and
Hmm.
it had been exactly
Hmm.
22 years to the day of the last
Hmm.
time Miami had come to the Dome. And you think to
Hmm.
yourself, how do you play Duke 3 years in a row, but you don't play Miami more than twice in 11 years?
Right.
So having this opportunity in the Patriot League in this expansion, but knowing that your coaches are going to see each other every year, knowing that these student athletes are going to get the experience, knowing that this year you're going to Richmond, next year they're coming to you. Like, just what that does for your scheduling model. And how does your model work? Is it literally like, hey, everybody you were on the road for in 2026, those are home in 27 and vice versa? I mean, how does your schedule break down?
That is, that's the goal, yes, is to have that alternating and to try to break up the sort of north-south trips.
Yeah.
But it is more of an art and less than, and less of a science in these first few years as we're trying to integrate. And no different than, some of the FBS conferences that take up a little more bandwidth in the media around going to increasing the number of games and what that does with contracts. Yep. We're going through the same thing in our schools who had lots of non-conference games that were contracted out 10 years that were, trying to unspool those to create room for an expanded league schedule and do it respectfully. These are partners in the FCS space. So trying to manage through all of that has been taking a lot of time.
When you sit down, I know you talked about having that one FBS opponent for these FCS schools within the Patriot League. Do you sit down with the brass, with each of these member institutions, and when you're talking to football, so to speak? I know that each school is scheduling who they're going to play, but do you as a league and as the commissioner of the Patriot League, do you kind of say to them like, hey, when you're doing that one FBS, try to go more local? Or do you kind of look at certain models and say, we'd like you to play this team, we think this will help when it comes to national exposure come FCS playoff time and getting more than one bid? Like, do you discuss with them how to schedule the FBS?
Not as much with the FBS, right? Those are games that from a national committee level, selection level, the committee wants to see a game on the schedule. Yeah. And it hurts you if you don't play FBS. Okay. I think we will see that is something that comes up as a topic in the selection room. Winning an FBS game definitely helps you. We saw that with Tarleton State this year. And they beat FBS opponent, they beat Army. Losing FBS games, it's the majority of position of, where FCS institutions are nationally. So we're a little bit probably more hands off with the FBS opponents, other than obviously Army and Navy are Patriot League members that compete at the FBS level. And so we do compete against Army and Navy a lot. And that's just such a wonderful, unique experience that our schools enjoy.
So non-conference FCS, is that where you take more of an approach?
We have more conversations. It is something that our athletics directors, our football ADs will be doing more of in the future. In the past, when we were only at 7 members, it was sometimes a little bit of a fire sale, right? Like, just get who you can get. Yeah. It's a lot of games to fill. And so moving forward, there a little bit more selectivity and a little bit more involvement and conversation between the football ADs. Yes.
Here with Patriot League Commissioner Jennifer Heppel in this edition of the Commissioner Corner inside of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora here in the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Jennifer, you mentioned Army and Navy, and you have them as full members except football, but you will compete against them in football. What is it to you in this Patriot League, even with just simply the name Patriot, to have the Naval Academy and the U.S. Military Academy, and to have had, I mean, you've had the Army with you, the Black Knights, since 1990. You've had the midshipmen of Navy since 1991. What does that do for the overall image of the Patriot League and what that name Patriot means? Even though you don't have them for football, what do they do for everything else?
Look, they are, I mean, you gave the dates. We were founded in 1986 as a football conference and transitioned to a multi-sport conference in 1990. They've been part of our fabric from the beginning, across the sports other than football. And those are huge programs. So we sponsor 24 sports as a Patriot League. They participate in 23. So with football being the exception, and that is in all of the sports that they offer. So these are big programs, and they are just, it's woven into the fabric of who we are, as all of our members are. But look, they're international. They have alumni living all over the world that pay attention to the academies, and it gives us a brand recognition that all members respect and value.
And when you look at the overall essence of this, I look at your enrollment for the Patriot
Mm-hmm.
League for full members and associate members. Everybody's under 10,000 except for Villanova and Boston. So,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
have those schools where it is not easy to get in to these
Right.
institutions. So the academic, and not to take away anything from Boston or Villanova when we talk about academics, with them having enrollment that's a little bit over 10,000, but just what it says about the academic side of things, that
Mm-hmm.
there is so much to the validity, because people always talk Ivy League, but
Right.
Patriot League, when we look at enrollment, we look at how many students get accepted, and we look at the value of degrees from these institutions and just their names. What does
Mm-hmm.
that say about the Patriot League outside of sports on the scholastic side?
It's look, it's interesting to me because we are in lockstep in terms of how we approach and value the athletic experience. But as institutions, these are 10 very different institutions. Um, but the commonality there is in that high level academic experience. But Boston University is a very different type of institution than the College of Holy Cross, than Navy, than a Loyola Maryland, than a Bucknell or a Colgate, right? They all offer something very different within the academic space, but they are highly selective academic institutions that all have very unique profiles.
Yeah, and I love seeing what this has
Mhm.
become for you. And I mean,
Mhm.
when you walk around wherever you may be, if you're on a flight, if you're going through the airport, if you're
Mhm.
in your headquarters for the Patriot League, wherever you may
Mhm.
be, when you have a Patriot League anything on, what
Mhm.
does that do for you as the commissioner of over a decade? How do you wear the Patriot League, and what does that name mean to you?
Yeah, it's very proudly. And what I love as we've grown and become an established Division One conference, 35 years now, it's a multi-generational conference. And the name, the Patriot League, has value. You have high school students, because we recruit high school students, that that say, and that whose parents say, I want the Patriot League experience. So it's a brand that has been built, and it means something. And people, whether they graduated, doesn't matter which Patriot League school you graduated from, when you asked about walking through the airport with the logo, people see it and they'll be like, oh, Patriot League, I went to XYZ. My kids go to, I went to Lehigh. My kids go to Lafayette. They're rivals, but they value the same things.
So, Jennifer, before we get into rapid fire, where you get to put me
Yeah.
on the hot
Oh.
seat, which commissioners never get to do, mind you, but we do it here on the show because we like to be different. I do want to look at the national side of things before we get into rapid fire. We've talked a lot about the
Mhm.
Patriot League, and rightly so, because you deserve the airspace. But nationally, how much, because I love what you said, we recruit high school kids because recruiting has become who's out there that we can poach. And it's really become like, oh, let's go to the Patriot League. Let's look at their quarterback. Let's look at their DB. Let's look at their point guard. Let's look at their setter in volleyball. And let's go find this person that someone else had a diamond in the rough. And now that they've, dusted off the diamond, we'll take it. So how much does the transfer portal and the NIL space go into the Patriot League? You are a Division I conference. So how much are you affected by what goes on with those two things, as well as the NCAA's settlement in trying to free up money to essentially do what they said they would never do, which is directly pay a student athlete?
Yeah, it's that's a lot right there. It's all of it. That's all of it right in one question, right? We are it's impacting Division I. Therefore, everybody in Division I is impacted by it in our own way. Every transfer is impactful to a team.
Yeah.
And so I can look at the numbers broadly. From a Patriot League perspective, we have the highest retention rates in Division I. That doesn't mean we don't have student athletes that are transferring out or transferring in. It doesn't mean that those numbers aren't higher today than they were 5 years ago. But I also will say, look, from the 23-24 academic year to 24-25, so the last two full academic years, I think there was a 16% increase in the number of student athletes in the transfer portal across Division I. Somewhere just over 28,000 student athletes in the transfer portal last year in Division I, which is a crazy number. We had 369 of them. So pretty low number, and it's pretty consistent over the last 2 to 3 years. That's been about our number. So we are impacted. It sounds like a low number within the context of Division I, but if one is from one basketball team at one institution, it means something. I am excited for our student athletes that get opportunities.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where it is. I think college should be the best time of your life. And I support everybody who is able to come out of the 4 or 5 year experience and say, that was exactly what I wanted it to be. That means something different for everyone. But it is a different environment. And it's the students, you see many students going into the portal that they're not going to have the same opportunity. It's not going to end up in as as positive an experience, whether that's from playing time, whether that's from academic. And, that's hard. That's hard. I think that's the difficulty of the space, is that there are a lot of young men and women where it just doesn't work out well. And we talk about the ones that get that over $1 million opportunity to leave a Patriot League school and go somewhere else, and great for them. But I worry about the ones that miss that opportunity by entering the portal.
And I definitely feel that. I always say it's musical chairs where, like in any musical chairs game, eventually when the music stops, there's not enough chairs.
Right.
So when the NCAA made their settlement and they came up with this astronomical number that they said is only going to increase, my brain said, so is that money coming from boosters? Is it coming from fans? Are we paying more when we go to a game? I know that there's certain schools I'll leave unnamed that said that there's now essentially you're paying a talent fee on top of your ticket so that you can help pay for this. So how does the Patriot League come into this? Did you opt in And look at that, because it also affects scholarships and availability on rosters. So how did you kind of tackle it?
Yeah. So so the settlement, and that decision around opting in or not opting in, and as it's called a revenue share, and I think appropriately point out right now with this year it's 20.5 million max that schools could revenue share. There are very few schools where that is appropriately called revenue. It's part of an operating budget, and it's paying players. I think there are schools that have significant revenues, and those student athletes are driving significant revenues, and it should be shared more appropriately than it has in the past. So there are many philosophical arguments around the settlement that I support. It does allow for an increased number of scholarships. That's important. Access to education is the foundation. I call it, access to education is a foundational principle of a strong democracy. So it's hard to, argue against increasing opportunity and access to education. Patriot League schools did not opt in this first year. That wasn't a conscious, it's all of our schools came to that decision individually, but of course within conference decisions. We may be in a different space. If I talk to you this time next year, we may have some schools that have opted in. Right now, they're in the wait and see, they're collecting information. I personally, right, like there are just so many still unknowns about what it means to operate as an opt-in school under what is effectively administration of a court in California and the CSC, the New College Sports Commission, which is a private entity, but its board is the autonomy for commissioners. So ceding much of the control over decision making to these types of outside entities. The NCAA is a very large organization, but it's a membership organization. We're all members of it, and we all have ways to influence the outcomes that within the NCAA structure. We don't have ways to influence the outcomes of the CSC. And so that's a big decision. That's an institutional decision. And they'll make, my schools, Patriot League schools, strong history of making good decisions. So I trust that that they'll end up in the place that makes sense for them and for us as a league.
I appreciate that response. And the last thing I have for you before rapid fire is, as we reflect on 2025 and you look back on over a decade with the Patriot League leading this as their commissioner, best part of your job as well as the biggest challenge?
If I said it's the same, right? The best part is the people. The best part is getting to go to the campuses and getting to work with the coaches, the administrators, getting to know a few of the student athletes. I think that's one of the most challenging parts of working in a conference office is you're one step removed from the kind of on campus and really getting to develop relationships with student athletes. Yeah. I do miss that a little bit. I've worked on campuses. But what I love about working in a conference office is the conversations and sitting around a table with really good people. The challenges are, these are hard decisions. These are hard issues. And there are a lot of unknowns, and sometimes you feel like it's happening to you as opposed to being in control. And I think that's the biggest challenge right now is this sense of what can we control?
Yeah. I think if I've learned anything about life in 4 decades, it's that the only thing you can control is yourself and what you say and what you do.
Right.
So Jennifer Heppel here with us in this edition of the Commissioner Corner, Patriot League Commissioner. Jennifer, like I said, you always get asked, you never get to ask. So you get to start off rapid fire. We'll go back and forth. What's your first question for me? Any topic, any question?
What's your favorite thing to talk about when you interview people?
Oh man, I mean, I don't push it, but when somebody says God or they talk about faith,
Uh-huh.
that opens that door for me to share the most
Okay.
important thing to me.
Okay.
So I love when I hear somebody say anything about God or faith, and I get to
Uh-huh.
jump right in there and say, tell me more about that. So
Okay.
I definitely say that, and then secondly, just talking to people about their family, like what makes them tick.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy that piece as well, which connects back to God and all of that.
Right. Right.
My question back to you. All right, Jennifer, this one's
Mm-hmm.
fun for me, especially with you being a commissioner. If you took over what my show for the day and it was
Cool.
Wake Up Call with Jennifer Heppel, who would be your three guests and why?
How much more time do I have? Oh, that is a great question. And I don't know if I could do names, right? But I do think I would have I I would want a couple different, a student athlete
Okay.
and maybe let's do a student athlete and a head coach and administrator from very different schools and experiences and just say, hey, what is it that you need, that you want, that you're looking for? Ask me questions. I'm always amazed at how little we know about each other's experiences.
Okay. So,
Right? We
so
think we do,
yeah,
but talk to me about your experience.
I like that. So it'd be like sitting with a student athlete from the Naval Academy, a coach from Lehigh, and an
Uh-huh.
administrator from Colgate, and just
Yeah,
saying like,
yeah.
what are
And
your
then
thoughts?
what are your thoughts? Yeah.
Okay. What's your next
And
question?
also, by the way, I do have the power to do that in my day-to-day job too, or not power. Power is not the right word, but I have the ability. And that's what we try to do. So, but I would probably, if I were doing a radio show, I'd expand it a little bit more nationally.
Okay. All
I
right.
am really curious about the honest perspective of a student athlete at Stanford right now or Syracuse and this national competition, right? Like what it means to continually be flying across the country to compete.
Yeah.
Um, Travel is really cool. Travel is amazing. There are some positives to it, but how does it balance?
Right. And how do you be a student
Hmm.
and an athlete
Hmm.
when your conference games,
Hmm.
Big 10, Big
Hmm.
12, ACC,
Hmm.
are 2,700 miles apart?
And I don't approach it from assuming that this is all negative. As I
Right.
said, like
Yeah.
this is the advantage that student athletes have to travel and to see different places. That's a life experience.
For sure.
So,
What's your next one for me, Jennifer?
which CFP game are you looking forward to watching the most?
That's not fair. So I mean, I easily Alabama Oklahoma rematch. I mean,
Okay.
show me what you got
Uh-huh.
type of thing. But I've covered Tulane for over a decade. I've gotten to know professionally and personally a little bit the world of Mr. John Summerall. So I'm excited
Hmm.
for what Tulane can do with his one last ride. I respect him for staying. I respect Bob Chesney for staying with James Madison because they're doing the atypical thing, which should be the typical thing, where you finish a job before you start another one, and we don't see
Hmm.
every coach do that. So
Hmm.
I do give credit to that, but yeah, I'd probably say Alabama, Oklahoma because I would like to see both of them in the second round, and that's not going to happen. And then Indiana gets the winner, so you're the number one seed, and you get to show like, can you beat an SEC team that you did not play
Right.
during this? They didn't play anybody in the SEC during the season, so that'll be cool. My
Cool.
question back to you: I'm going to stick with the CFP,
Oh boy.
so I'm gonna hit you a little CFP here. So
Uh-huh.
of the 4 seeds that are sitting out the first round of
Oh.
Indiana, Ohio State, Georgia, and Texas Tech, 1 through 4 respectively, who is the most vulnerable to you?
Oh. Um, that is a great question. And I think the natural reaction is to say Indiana, right? But they keep, just because it's a newer experience.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, it really isn't. They've been winning for a while now. Yeah. So I don't know that any of them are vulnerable. I think all of them can win it. Like you're a top 4 seed in the CFP. You can win it. You're not vulnerable. You might get beat, but you're not vulnerable.
Okay. I think there's going to be some challenges after this first round. What's your last question for me, Jennifer?
Do you open presents Christmas Eve or Christmas morning?
Growing up as a kid, we went to my grandparents on my dad's side, Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm.
And then Christmas morning with my parents, and then Christmas Day after that with my mom's parents. And when my parents,
that's a lot of presents.
I know.
That sounds like a wonderful family memory.
Yeah. And with my parents not together, I don't know if they did this on purpose, but my dad now does Christmas Eve, my mom does Christmas Day, and I do Christmas morning with my dog. So we've actually kept the tradition of my grandparents alive in a way, which has been really cool. So I would say we do both, but like Christmas morning, just like snow outside, sitting with my dog, who's my kid, and she's smarter than most people that I've seen in America recently. But she, having a morning with her is very special. So I would say that. My last question to you. All right, I'm going to make you have to think on this one. So if you were going on a trip, you know how
not
people...
too much. It's Friday. Friday.
But this is going to take you totally away from sports.
Okay.
You're going on a family vacation to like Universal Studios or Walt Disney World, and you always see those families that have the matching shirts. If you had to pick a cartoon character to match your family with, what cartoon family or cartoon group would you say my family's going to rock these matching shirts, and why?
Oh, I am an only child.
So am I.
And I am an only grandchild.
Okay.
And so I was always looking kind of for that Disney family that was like one child was creating complete chaos. No, I have I loved the mice in Cinderella growing up.
Okay.
And I loved Gus Gus. And so I probably would have put us all in like Gus Gus type,
I love it. I love that. I've never asked that question, and I never would have anticipated that the mice from Cinderella and that Gus Gus would get promoted here on Wake Up Call this morning. With that being said, Jennifer Heppel, the leader of the Patriot League, a league that you all know and should know very well, and a league that may have to partner to have Gus Gus on jerseys at some point. With that
hey, the logos, they're coming. Jerseys, fields.
Listen, why not? We should do it. We should do a little, like a AAA baseball day. You do something like that. So.
Right. Well, Disney's all in on AI now, so we can take this next step.
There you go. So with that being said, Jennifer Heppel, a very, very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and an early Happy New Year to you and your loved ones. And as always, I appreciate you taking time with me and always love our conversation. So thank you again.
You as well, Dan. Great to see you. Happy holidays.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye.
See you. That covers
Bye.
Jennifer Heppel here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. Always have fun with the commissioners. Never know what's going to be, said here on the broadcast. And it's great because we get to talk with them about their specific conference goings on, and we get to talk with them about the larger scope national approach to what is happening. So you get to hear from the leaders of leagues and conferences all across the country. We've literally gone coast to coast, north to south, and you've been able to hear from these commissioners that are a part of the 50 states, right? I mean, we're talking to commissioners in the Dakotas, commissioners out in California, commissioners on the East Coast, commissioners that have connections to the Midwest, and it's given me an opportunity to do something which I wanted to do, which is give every conference and league the same exposure, the level playing field that they may not get anywhere else, to give them all a seat at the table, to let them talk with you about their conference, and also for them to answer the questions that are affecting every conference. So we get to hear from the specific conference about what happens with them, and we get to get their approach to what's happening to everybody. So I love that individual scale as well as large scale approach. And with that being said, and Taylor said, I just got hit right in the nostalgia, and I love to know why, Taylor, so send me why. But with that being said, we'll take a step aside for a fast break. We'll wrap up this week of Wake Up Call inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios following a wonderful conversation with the one and only Jennifer Heppel, Commissioner of the Patriot League. We'll be back right after this. Stay with us. And now a message from Myers Creek Brewing Company, with locations at their Cazenovia Farm Brewery, Syracuse Inner Harbor Tap Room, and soon-to-be Lake Placid Tap Room.
Well, I think first and foremost, the Feldmeyer family and our team are extremely passionate about what we do. We care very much about what we do. The Feldmeyer family is always investing. Our taproom management team, our brew management team, our marketing management team, and all of the team members that get after it every day, they leave it on the field. They put their heart and soul into it. I know for a fact that everyone that works at Myers Creek wants to be there, and we want them to be there. We want them to feel good about their job. And again, if you've never been to a Myers Creek, especially to the brewery, I want your eyes to open really big. I want you to see how big of a brand this is. I want you to see where we're going. The sky is the limit, and I feel very proud of that, and I'm very excited about that. When you think of designing a menu for a brewery, it's kind of open to a lot of different interpretations. You can do American, you can do Asian, you can do Italian, and you just have to find, how that meets that pub style dining experience, that gastropub vibe. And I think it's super fun for us because obviously we know that, everyone in the world's going to sell a pizza or a burger or a french fry, but what can we do to be different? And what can we do to be true to who we are? We are a brewery, a brew pub. So the flavor profiles are kind of all over the place, and I think it's super cool that we have a massive smoker at the brewery in Cazenovia, and we smoke a lot of our products. A delicious smoked turkey. We have barbecue ribs on Sundays. From a pulled pork sandwich to a chicken wing, and you go to the Inner Harbor and you go to the Kaz location, and you'll find similarities in the menu, but also things that are a little different, and also kind of fit those different demographics or different communities, and also hopefully just drive you to try every tap room that we have open at some point, because you get a little something different at each one. We understand how hard it is to work every day and get after it every day, and when you're done at the end of your day, you want to go out and put your feet up in a good ambiance and good environment. So we take pride in that. We make sure that everyone knows that they're very much valued to us.
This is Jim Dispenza, owner of Game Point Sports Complex. You hear the same story across any sport that kids play and any sport that adults play. There's never enough places to play. That was definitely true with volleyball, definitely true with basketball. Could be cheerleading, it could be field hockey, which is what we're seeing now. Every sport has a lack of places to play, and I think Syracuse in particular is a place where it's really bad. Despite the fact that we've got a lot of athletic talent around here, We just seem to have not enough places for people to play, and they're going to different places. They're going to Rochester, they're going to, Buffalo. They're going all different places because we don't have a place here, and I felt like that should change. This was a long project from planning all the way through execution to opening the doors. A lot of work went into it, obviously, a lot of money, a lot of resources, and the dream always was kids being in the gym, having a good time. And I've always felt like sports is the most unfiltered joy that you can observe with people that people can experience, because it is fun, it is a sense of accomplishment, it's all of that wrapped into one thing, and so watching kids going up and down the court with big smiles on their faces has been just amazing experience. I'm looking forward to years to come of that same thing. We've taken the time to invest in multiple sports, and then what we're finding is the mere fact that we have a large, clean, well-lit space has opened a lot more doors for us beyond basketball, volleyball, pickleball. Now we're having some interest from cheerleading. We've got girls field hockey coming in, and then also there's quite a bit of room for spectators. We've got bleachers, we've got benches, we've got a concession lounge where people can get food and drinks. We're going to have multiple sports going at the same time, using every square inch of this place for what it was conceived for, which is basically people to come in, have a good time in the sport that they prefer. We manage each situation differently. Everybody has different ability to afford different things. Some are bringing 10, 15 people, some are just 2 people. I've had a lot of situations where it's a father shooting around with his son, it's a mother playing pickleball with her daughter or with her son, and in those situations come up and we work with people, and that's allowed us to have groups from 2 people up to 30 people and have some flexible pricing behind it. We're an organization that is here to work with the community any way we can, and I guess part of it is just making sure that we have the flexibility to put together a plan that makes sense regardless of the size of your group. So in order to book time, the best option is to go to our website, gamepointsports-syr.com. You can click from there and sign up for events, sign up for your own particular training, sign up for birthday parties, all of that.
Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McNerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Bryan and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Bryan and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Bryan's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Life gets busy, and sometimes that means us running around. So K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare offers you an opportunity to give your dog a place to stay while you take care of what you need to throughout the day. K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare is located on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, New York. You can see it from the highway, and it's just off of Erie Boulevard across from BJ's Wholesale Club. Call 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110 to schedule an appointment to bring your dog in and tour the facility. Appointments are Monday through Thursday after 6:30, where you and your dog can see everything that K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare has to offer, including a self-serve dog wash and a retail store filled with all of your dog's wants and needs, including food, treats, harnesses, leashes, and more, making K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare your one-stop shop for your furry-loving friend. Right, Lily?
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks coming to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York is your one-stop sports card and trading card shop. Go and be a big kid, whatever your age is. Head over to 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York to get closer to the sports teams, the players, and the games and characters you love. Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, One Piece, Disney Lorcana, as well as soccer, hockey, basketball, baseball, football, so many wonderful things at GG Cards and Breaks. I absolutely love being there, opening packs and boxes, having no idea what I'm going to get and hoping for the best. And I found some of the best cards I've ever opened from GG Cards and Breaks is where they came from. So make sure you head out there today. They have singles, they have graded cards, packs, and boxes, so you can buy something out of the display case where you know what you're getting, or you can try and see what's behind those packs and boxes. So make sure you go out there today, be a big kid, and remember that Josh and Anthony and the team have put so much blood, sweat, and tears and love into creating a space that is welcome to all. And we look forward to seeing you out there at GG Cards and Breaks, 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. Big time thanks to Chick-fil-A and DeWitt. You cannot miss Chick-fil-A and DeWitt on the corner of Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard. They are there in the giant brick building, and they came to us just a few months ago, Megan Sorber and her team, here with the newest Chick-fil-A in Central New York. It's located right by multiple colleges and universities, as well as high schools, and of course, being on the corner of Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard, it's hard to miss. I know you're out there in the hustle and bustle of Christmas and holiday shopping, so make sure that you stop over to Chick-fil-A DeWitt while you are out there getting those gifts for the ones that you love. It's an easy decision to make, and of course, you can order on the app, you can go through their double drive-through, or you can go inside the largest Chick-fil-A that I have ever seen. So make sure you go to the corner of Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard today to visit Megan Sorber and her team and let them know that DT sent you. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life, I want to thank you so much for the opportunity to be with you in your morning, whatever you're up to, or if you're watching this on playback, that we're there with you wherever you are, whenever. Up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, inside the Great Lakes, Honda City Studios. We are with you on YouTube.com and Facebook.com worldwide, both /WakeUpCallDT, as well as on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. So however you're connected with the show, we thank you so much for being here with us. Once the shows go live, they hop into the archive, and you can check us out on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. And many thanks to our incredible partners in Central and Upstate New York, Great Lakes, Honda City, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, GG Cards and Brakes, Myers Creek with a location on the countryside, which is on 33 Rippleton Road in Cazenovia, and right by so many things in Syracuse, New York, on the city side of things in the Syracuse Inner Harbor, right there by the aquarium that is currently being built. You'll find Myers Creek on 728 Van Rensselaer Street in Syracuse, in the Syracuse Inner Harbor. Chick-fil-A Cicero, which brought you lead today, as well as Mother's Cupboard, which brings you my signature exclusive breakfast sandwich in Central and Upstate New York. You'll find it right there 7 days a week at Mother's Cupboard from 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. on 3709 James Street in Syracuse. It is called the Cuse Mac Mother, and the Cuse Mac Mother, bacon, egg, and cheese inside of 2 pieces of French toast. Cut it up and have it with some syrup. Pick it up and have it like a sandwich, only at Mother's Cupboard. Ma and Pa's, the snack capital of the world, perfect for all your stocking stuffers this year. K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare, Pizza Man, Chick-fil-A in DeWitt, Game Point Sports Complex, Bryan's Landing, K-9 Campground Dog Boarding, Avicoli's, and of course we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse. Find the Bobcats every month in what we call the Bobcat Buzz, with student athletes, coaches, administration, and alumni joining the show. You'll find all of our content by going to youtube.com/WakeUpCallDT. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our BSC Syracuse playlist of over 100 episodes. We have underpromised and way over-delivered on how many episodes you would get of the Bobcat Buzz. Don't miss a second of those by going to our YouTube channel today. You can also find the Bobcats on WakeUpCallDT.com's homepage, and underneath the Exclusive Partners tab. For more information, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com and go Bobcats. The Binghamton University Bearcats are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find your Bearcats every single Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time during Bearcat Time. Student athletes, coaches, administration, and alumni joining the show here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership. You'll find them on youtube.com/WakeUpCallDT. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our Binghamton playlist of over 100 episodes. Under promise, over deliver there as well. You will find the Bearcats also on WakeUpCallDT.com's homepage and underneath the Exclusive Partners tab. For more information, go to BinghamtonBearcats.com and go Bearcats. The Onondaga Community College Lasers are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find your Lasers every other Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time bi-monthly on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Student athletes, coaches, and administration joining the broadcast to tell the story of OCC like you've never had it delivered to you before. Not as much of, like, when it comes to content, it comes to time on a show, content, as well as crossing so many sports and giving spotlights to places that they should have been always. Our partnership with OCC, giving the lasers the true spotlight that they have earned. And we're happy to bring you the Laser Lounge, like I said, every other Wednesday monthly at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. You'll find our content by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, find the OCC playlist. The lasers are also on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to onondaga.lasers.com and go Lasers. I want to thank you again for tuning into today's show inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. GreatLakesHondaCity.com is where you need to go right now to see their end-of-the-year deals. Don't miss an opportunity to give yourself an early Christmas gift or to give it to somebody else or to your family while they have these sales going on at Great Lakes Honda City. Get over to 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard today and let them know that DT sent you. Many thanks to Carvel DeWitt for the annoying moment of the week. Don't let the cold weather fool you. Carvel's flavors don't change all throughout the year. They have fantastic flavors, and there is no second to a Carvel ice cream cake. Go and get it today and celebrate, as we always do throughout the year, with a Carvel cake, as well as with their sundaes, their dashers, and more. And while you're dashing through the snow, quite literally, go and get a dasher at Carvel DeWitt. Big time thanks to Chick-fil-A in Cicero for lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver is what the acronym stands for. God help me to create it right before COVID at the end of 2019. And I always appreciate the fact that I love creating things, love putting ideas together, and it's always God and I sitting down or standing up or running or walking or laying down on the ground trying to come up with an idea. And I cannot thank God enough for everything. Without him, I am nothing. So big time shout out to Chick-fil-A Cicero, Jimmer Sikowski, and the entire team, and all the faith that comes from the amazing team there. You can see their team members in the Light Between Us series that airs on Wake Up Call. You can go to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find the Light Between Us playlist. Big time shout out to our top dog of the week, Mr. Jerry. Shout out to you and the whole family. God bless on your mend, and God bless the miracle that he created in your life and in the lives of those that love you. God is great. Thank you. In Jesus' name, we pray for continued miracles and good news. And a big time thanks to Jennifer Heppel, the Patriot League commissioner, for telling us the story of the Patriot League while taking a nationwide look at collegiate athletics in this edition of the Commissioner Corner. So many thanks to all of you for watching and listening, wherever you are. And a thanks to everyone on Facebook at WakeUpCallDT, X at CallDT, and Instagram at WakeUpCall_DT. For now, from the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, I say, God bless, no stress, do your best. I look forward to talking with you all soon. Stay safe, stay warm, and stay well.